My name is Adonis Suero. I'm the host for the Voices of the Omniverse. Today we have a special guest with us.
My name is Justin Roblero. I'm an independent filmmaker and content creator within the anime space and just within the filmmaking space in New York. Shades of Otaku is my first feature documentary, actually, and it's a documentary about the rise of popularity in anime and its resonance with the Black community specifically. It's really a love letter to anime fans, but also a deep dive into what made anime as popular as it is today. Because when we were watching anime, at least most of us, it wasn't really cool at all.
Right.
It was very much niche nerddom. Like you was teased from you knew the Naruto run, you was teased.
100%.
Now we got Naruto merch, like actually good like merch. Like we got what is
Nike
that?
collabs.
We had Puma collabs with One Piece. So the doc really follows the trajectory of when anime came over into the West and where we are today, going from video stores and then Toonami and then streaming, and now here we are in Demon Slayers in Times Square. Like, it's crazy.
Right.
And then the other aspect of the doc is much more personal and communal. So it follows four Black pioneers within the anime space. Some are cosplayers, some are content creators, some are people who just cultivate good social space within the Black anime nerddom community. And through that, we see how much it impacts Black people in general, not just us watching anime, but us partaking in these events and kind of like healing each other in a way.
Right. Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. I definitely want to dig a little bit deeper on, the documentary itself, and I'm curious to hear your perspective on why you think that anime, resonates so strongly with marginalized communities, particularly the Black community. What do you think it is about that, about this medium?
Yeah. No, it's a great question. It's definitely like probably one of the questions on the forefront of the doc, because we've always resonated with anime. Like when I first watched it, before I even knew what it was, like Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, one I just knew was different. And one thing about Black people and our contribution to pop culture is we are always elevating. We are always pushing the boundaries of something. So when you see something that's new and fresh, most likely it had a hand in it. Like we had a hand in that. And so I think for anime, it's like when I saw that, I was like, whoa, what is this? Like, this is new. This isn't Superman. This isn't Batman. This is different. The colors are different. The characters are different. But most importantly, I think it's the stories. I think the stories we resonate with so much. Naruto is always our prime example, right?
Right.
It's a story about a child who's ostracized by society. No one likes him. They're afraid of him. And yet he still wants to be the best him he can be. He never got angry. He never decided to lash back at them. He was like, nah, society hates me, but I'm going to be the president. I'm still going to do what I got to do. And I think that's why we resonate, is these characters and these stories that really speaks to our core, because most of these stories, I feel like they come from a place of growth. Like a lot of, I think, American media, not all of it, but most of it, it's usually not about growth. It's usually about, this is where I am and I'm going to get better. But a lot of stories within the anime community, or just in culture like that, it's stories about characters that started at the bottom and they built themselves up despite whatever adversities they have. And as much adversities as Black people have in America, I feel like we just automatically resonate with it. And then, of course, it's fun, it's funny, it's action. Like it's a lot of things in one, and so are we. Like, we're multifaceted, and I feel like society usually just slaps us with, oh, the ghetto movie, like, oh, here's the slave movie. But we are multifaceted. We love many different things. So anime kind of allows us to partake in this escapism, this sci-fi, or these fight scenes, and not feel like, we're watching the same thing, and also, hey, I can relate to that character.
what kind of story elements or storytelling do you think allows for this emotional freedom to happen and for it to be possible in anime?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. I might have to steal that question.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm borrowed. But some of the elements, one, it's definitely characterization, because they get us engrossed in these characters' lives and stories so much that you want to see what happens to them. Are they going to fail? Are they going to succeed? And then, of course, with anime stories, they do fail. They do succeed. Like, it's a wide spectrum, kind of like life. Again, opposed to other media where the good guy is always going to win. Bad guys are always going to lose.
It's almost expected.
And it's almost expected. In anime, it's not. You watch episode 1, your whole family dies. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Again, so things like that gets us engrossed already. They have characters that are very likable because they're multifaceted, and you can see their faults, you can see their strengths, and like when you do that, you're able to resonate and you want to see more. Like, you want to see more of these characters. So one is characterization. I think they get us on board with these characters so much. We love some of these characters. Some of these characters we look up to, and they're the animated characters.
Yeah, they're completely 2D images.
They're completely 2D images. But it's like, no, I want to be Luffy. I want to be Goku. I want to be like Urza, like, because they have such, they're so layered. And then the other aspect, I think, is the actual stories. So just like in Black culture, we have a lot of recycle. I mean, in history, we have recycled stories, right?
Right.
I think for most Black people in America, we go by these folklores or these folk tales that were told by our parents and their parents and their parents. And that's pretty much also Japanese culture. It's like, it's like, oh, this well has been around for 500 years. And when this person makes a wish on the full moon of it, it's like, we can relate. It was like, oh yeah, it's kind of like how we have superstitions. Like, it's like, oh, don't sweep over your foot, or don't do that. Like, things culturally we grew up on. So even though that's not our culture, we resonate with, oh, we have something like that. Like, we have a saying like that. We have a don't do this or do this to
Definitely.
So I think it's a mixture of us falling in love with these characters and resonating with us, and then the stories being, even though we're not familiar with the stories, we're familiar with that form of storytelling. So that gets us locked in, and now you're able to have a scenario where you put characters in a position where I'm vulnerable because I'm watching it and I see me in that character, and I see the story and maybe my family, and now I'm crying. Like, now I'm like, wow, like, this is like, oh, me and my dad may have had a conversation like this, and he's culturally,
it just hits
like,
out of nowhere.
It just hits out of nowhere, and it's like, I needed this release, but I can't get it from other media. Like we talked about, like slave movies. That is a different type of release. Like that's out of sadness of this really happened. But when you're watching something like an anime, it's like
almost the fantastical elements, they are good garnish for like the meal per se.
And then you incorporate music, you incorporate amazing animation, like like characters, teardrops, and music. And
I definitely think animation is able to really take those leaps and bounds that a lot of live action just can't do, whether it's the budget or whether it's even just an actor themselves not being able to really convey the emotions that they're trying to bring out, or like make the audience feel. That in anime it's just, I feel like it's a cheat code almost to an extent, because like they can just hit all those marks, and like they can choose when they want to make you cry, and it's like so perfect, depending on the what show we're watching and the writing style. But Marvel and DC have to reconsider their strategies and get back into animation, get back into making good comic books, because if they don't, that Japanese audience, the Japanese media and content is going to completely overtake the market. And you know how they are when they start losing their money.
They start getting desperate, like, all right, what is this, Anna what?
Yeah.
What is this thing?
Yeah, you got like some 70-year-old that has no idea what that is, talking about, let's get Naruto on Netflix.
Yeah, we need it now. A live action Naruto cast. I don't know.
Let's cast Timothée Chalamet as Naruto.
Naruto. Like, that's exactly what's gonna happen.
comics and like, manga, anime are just like our form of like a modern mythology. If
That's
you
a good
like
point.
think back to like how you were even like talking about like folklore or just like things that have been passed down from family to family. This is the same thing. These stories of like Goku, being synonymous or like being inspired by like the Monkey
The
King
Monkey King,
and
yeah.
like those type of ideas. It's like, not only are we recycling this mythology, but we're just getting the luxury that we get to see it on TV. Back then, it was just word of mouth that you were getting these stories across. But
Right.
now it's like we're really able to not only express these mythologies, these themes, and, these personas that we're seeing or like hearing from, but we really get to experience the trials and tribulations that certain characters go through. You touched upon a little bit about Naruto and how you're seeing a little kid basically being ostracized, bullied, cast away from everyone else, and he could have easily chose to hate everyone and chose that dark path, and he could have been that Sasuke figure much earlier on. But the thing that really kept him going was, the love that he had for everyone. And it was just so like, it's such a, I don't know, it's almost like a spine tingling, you get hairs when you even think about it. It's like,
you get emotional. Like,
yeah, because like he has so much love and he's just not receiving it back. And it's like, even until, I think it was like after that pain arc, like you don't even really see the everyone in the village really like, having that love or appreciation for him like that. And I think those are like the moments that especially really stick with people, because then it's like, even if it's fictional, it was made by a real person, and it's, real people's thoughts or real human experiences that they're having or they're hearing other people have, and they're just putting it into their art. So when we're also resonating with like these characters, we're still resonating with the human experience, but it just might be a human experience of, that the author had himself or herself, or it's completely something that they read. But no matter what, all these experiences are extremely human. And I think anime just has that a great ability to, it's just so funny. Yeah, it has a great ability to humanize these themes, even though it's a 2D character and it's like huge eyes and dramatic fantastical scenarios. But
and it's funny you even say that with the Naruto stuff about like so much love. I feel like, again, kind of an analogy, not on purpose, but how Black people feel in America, is that we do have so much love. Like we're very passionate, we're very loving, but society is like aggressive, violent, and but we have the love. Like we have so much. So to see that happen, it's like, nah, I don't want to have to throw hands every day. Like I don't want to have to fight my life. I want to just give y'all hugs.
I want to enjoy. I want to eat some ramen with you guys, like something easy.
Like, that's all I want to do. So
Yeah.
when we see that is another reason we probably get so emotional. It's like, yeah, I feel that. Like I feel that I don't want to fight. I don't want to be aggressive or seem aggressive or however they label it. It's like, nah, I got nothing. But I just want to chill.
Yeah, constantly like fighting these like, these titles, these stereotypes, these personas or perspectives that, we don't even sometimes get the opportunity to, explain to someone or correct them on these perspectives. We don't even get, we have to find other ways to like prove it. And especially like the film like this that you're working on is another way to prove how much love we have in the community and love for a specific, medium. But at the same time, if you look at it, and we're looking at all these conventions and all these different, pop-ups or, meet and greets, or even the Family Feud that we met at, you're just seeing the love is collective. We all have a shared love for the, the shows and the manga that we love reading and whatnot. But then once we're talking to each other, it's like you can see it almost like, the love is personified to an extent. Love how anime has been able to transcend, its medium past, even obviously it goes from the manga, it goes into the anime, and now we're even having it as, we're having episodes being premiered in movie theaters. It's that's insane. Like I don't think people would understand, like 10 years ago, never in your life would you ever think that you'd see any anime, anything on TV. I mean, in the movie theater.
No one would buy a ticket. Like,
no one would buy a ticket.
Everyone would be afraid to buy a ticket. They probably buy it and just be like, I don't know if I really want to show up.
Exactly. And if you did, there'd probably be like 2 people in the theater.
Yep. Because I remember I was one of those people.
Yeah. But then like I feel like when it really started for me was, I think I saw the Dragon Ball Super movie with versus Broly.
Yeah.
I went with my friends. that
Yep, and the
crowd
theater was
was
packed.
packed. Then One Piece started coming in with like I think they had
One
two
Piece
movies after
Red.
that into theater,
Hmm.
Red and everything. And I'm like seeing videos of like the movie theaters in France, and like, cause I know France, they love their One Piece out there. And I'm
Hmm.
like, they're going crazy, applauding, standing ovation, and it's like the energy, the atmosphere, and then
Yeah.
just the way that they make all these individuals feel.
Yeah,
It's
'cause I came
it's
from
yeah.
most of us came from a time where Pokemon the movie was our movie experience, but we was like children, so like
Yeah. I
we
didn't even know
got like,
Pokemon was considered an anime growing
yeah,
up.
no one even knew that. We was
Yeah.
like, this is Pokemon, that's not anime, it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
exactly.
even like Digimon the movie, like I think the first movie, anime related movie I saw in theaters that wasn't like Pokemon,
Hmm.
Digimon. I think it was, but I think it was, it had to be one of those those early Funimation shows,
Hmm.
like as the movie. And I was like, this is
Yeah.
crazy. And there was no one in the theater. It was like you said, it was like 5 people.
Right.
It was something like Fruits Basket, like something like
Yeah.
that was very like niche back then.
Hmm.
But I just realized I didn't even answer the other part of your question about as a anime fan.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah, go
really
ahead.
the dream come true. Like it really is a dream come true
I
to be
bet.
able to like
Yeah.
work on this and it's anime because I love it. Like doing research
Passion
on
projects are like
or
a dream.
yeah, like it's just to be able to like I was blessed enough to be on a panel for Anime NYC this year. I'm like, I'm on a panel talking about anime. Like,
That's amazing.
what you mean? Like this is crazy. This is dope. Like,
Wow.
and yeah, it makes you go harder. It's something
100%.
you really care about.
100%. What's a moment in your creative journey that you felt, is like the perfect training anime arc, where everything just clicked, but, it came at some type of cost? What was your training arc throughout your creative process?
Arc in this, I'm probably coming out of it now. I'm probably now coming out. I'm about to see how strong I really got
Yeah.
during the training arc because I think definitely somewhere in between the inception of it, like in between when I decided I wanted to do it, and then when I actually started getting it done. That middle space, which was probably about I would say a year into it, because I started this around the idea around 2022. I actually started it 2023, and now here we are at the end of 2024. So I would say about a year in that middle point where I was like, okay, I know what I want to do. I know who I want involved. I thought that was the doc, but it wasn't. That was the chain art. Like that was the chain art. Even when I started filming, when I first started filming, I started filming with my Canon T6i, and I was like, I'm gonna do the interviews on here. I had a whole idea. I was like, do the interviews on here, and then some stuff on the phone. Then I started borrowing my friend Brian. Shout out to Brian. His Black Magic, because I was like, I really want to up this quality. And then when I was doing that, I was like, wait a minute. I shot all that stuff on the Canon, and now I'm shooting all this on the Black Magic. Does that mean the Canon stuff is invalid? But no, it's a doc. I can mix and match. But I was like, but I do want stuff on the Black Magic. So then I'm like, all right, let's start this again. And then I started from scratch again. Like, all right. And then I got better sound equipment. I was like, oh wait, now I got to redo this. And then over time, I was like, wow, this is really just a training art. Like this. Like
just realizing what you need, but you don't realize what you need until you're actually trying it.
Right. And now I'm like, okay, I think we still got more to learn, but I think we're good to go now.
Fire.
And now we moving. But it was about a year. I would say like it was a year training for this project, and now we're gonna see how strong we got. Like
that's amazing. What did you learn about yourself as both a filmmaker and a fan throughout this entire process?
So really, you got some good questions. I ain't gonna hold you because I make questions for my interviewees. So
thank you.
Be like, yeah, question making is difficult. Like these are good questions. I love good questions.
Thank you. Yeah, I love a good conversation all the time.
So what is, you repeat it one more time? I was starting to think about
Yeah,
it.
no,
Like,
is what did you learn
oh,
about yourself, both as a filmmaker and a fan throughout this entire process, this journey?
so as a filmmaker, I learned that I know more than I thought I did, but I definitely started to learn how to delegate more because in the past I would definitely try to do everything myself, and I would never give myself time to fail and learn to succeed. I would just do it. Like I would do it, and I was like, "This is my learning. I'm gonna do it,"
Yeah.
and I fail, and I learn from that, and I'm failing. Now I'm like, I don't have to fail all the time because I am pretty comfortable with failing. But it's like now that I'm in a space where sometimes I really don't have the time to fail.
Right.
So
It's not even an
now,
option. That sounds like
right
some
now, it's not
anime
an
stuff
option.
right there.
Right now, it's not an option. Now I have to beat the
Yeah.
girl. Like I have no choice. So I've learned to delegate so much better, and to just
Yeah.
take a different kind of lead, like
Mhm.
take a lead where I can oversee instead of just doing everything. And I'm still learning to do this, but that is definitely something as far as filmmaking that I learned. Now I'm like, okay, let me reach out to an editor. Let me reach out to someone who knows this camera better than me instead of going on YouTube and looking this camera up all night. I'm gonna still do it. I'm gonna still look it up all night because I like to know. Like I like to know so that I can also, when they ask me a question, hey Justin, I have an answer. But
Exactly.
I'm no longer trying to be the expert overnight.
Right. Right.
We want a great product, and
Right.
to do that, you need to know what you're doing.
Right.
So if I don't, and I need to get this done right now, we gonna hit up somebody that knows. So that's something that I've learned. And then as far as myself, I've learned so much, like for myself through this project. I've learned my work ethic, my work methods. Like I used to always think that I didn't work hard enough on certain projects just because I would put things down, would come back to them later. And working on this was like, actually I probably just wasn't passionate enough about what I was doing. Like it's funny because I learned this through doing anime content, which again was just maybe like 2 years in. I was making things before, right? But I always felt like I had to get to a certain level before I started making things I wanted to. So like I was like, all right, I'm a filmmaker, right? I gotta make a drama, I gotta make a series, I gotta make this. But I was never really infusing. Like I was like, I know I want to do sci-fi, I know I want to do anime, but I'll do that later once I get the films out and get some recognition, and then But it never happened. So then when I just started doing anime, like I got a press pass for Anime NYC 2 years ago. That's what really started it. And I started doing this, and then that's when my creative process started taking off and
just started
getting collaborations. And I was like, wait a minute, like this didn't happen for any of the other things. And it's like, but this is what I'm passionate about. Like this is what I want to do. So I learned that I don't have to like that I can really do what I want to do, and incorporate who I want to incorporate. And it's not me being like lazy, or it's not me being like, it's like, no, I have the work ethic in me, but I was just doing it a way that wasn't productive. Like, I had to learn to do it a different way. And I only did that because this project thrust me into a situation that made me do it. It was like, oh wait, there's a con next month, gotta get it done. And then all of a sudden I'm like, did I just not sleep for a week? Like I didn't even know I could do that. I thought that I was one of those like work 2 days a week and that's it. Like no, I actually do have this in me.
I think it's often surprising like how much not only the idea of cross collaboration, but like how much inspiration can come out of that, and the momentum that develops and builds. Just having a conversation with a like-minded person is enough for you to work harder that next day or even that night. As soon as you get back home, you're gonna start working on something just because I don't know, it's like it is almost a light that just like dawns inside of you again at the spark. And I think that's even something that we can see in a lot of like animes as a trope as well. It's like people like to make the joke about it or meme about it of the ideas of the power of friendship or whatever, but that's real. Like it's real, and like you literally get better because your friends are also trying to get better and they want you to get better.
Like, let's be honest,
that's
real.
amazing.
It's corny in the show, but it's real.
But it's real.
But it's real.
That's
Like
probably why
it
it's people
touches
see it as corny, because it's such a
you.
real thing. People always have those. The more, if you're asking a question in your head or you're having like a visceral reaction, it's probably because it's true or it's resonating on some level that you haven't really, connected to it yet. And what role do you feel that conventions play in, continuing to, bolster the Black community, especially when it comes to anime?
That's a good one. I'm about to open the can. I'm about to go ahead. There's so much. I'm gonna keep it brief, but there's so much. Like, there's the convention culture in general. Like, before we talk about anime and stuff, remember, like, this was niche. Like, this was very like sci-fi, like back to like Trekkie conventions and Star Wars. Like, this was a niche. This wasn't something that was an event for your average person or that was cool to be covered. Like, this was something that nerds did. They to nerd out, like you said. Like, we're amongst each other. We talk and we geek out about what comics we read and all of this stuff. Now it's starting to, like, it's a double-edged sword, right? Like, it's things that are cool because now a lot of people are being exposed to it, and they can find love through it. Like, they can be like, oh, this is actually cool. I thought it was nerdy. This is kind of cool. These people are kind of cool. These events are kind of cool. Then you have the other part of the double-edged sword where now it's also commercial. Like, now it's also an event to come to a community, to an anime event. Now it's an event to cosplay. You're not doing it because you love it. You're doing it because it's trendy or because it's the thing. And then that's when you get other unwanted energy at conventions. Now, conventions prices are going way up. I remember when I used to be able to get a like weekend pass for $40. Now one day is like $90 at a big con.
Yeah, I was about to say $40. $40 might just be like the lanyard they're selling.
The lanyard and chicken and some fries. Like, not even chicken nuggets, like the fries.
Yeah.
So you get that, and that's of course a mix of now people wanting to go, and then companies being like, well, we got to get this dollar. Like, it's popular. We're raising that.
Find a way to profit off of it.
Right, which is unfortunate for the actual fans because we're not rich. Like, most of us really can't afford it. We used to go because it was affordable, but the people who can afford it aren't even the people that's really here for the love of it. They're just here because, again, it's an event. So that's how I feel about like the con space. Like, I think it's getting maybe a little out of hand, I would even say. Like, the attendees, it's wild. But as far as what it did for the community, I think it's fostered so much friendships. It's fostered so much creativity. Like, at this point where we are now, like 2020, this is the end of 2024, December 2024, we can mark this down. Every con I went to this year, the Black anime community space has just gotten bigger and stronger and more connected because of these cons, because there's so many of them now. We, like, most of us look forward to going to these out-of-state cons. One, we can see our friends, and two, we make content together. We go to parties together, and now it is a little community. People have actually had friendships made, relationships made, and it's something that we didn't know we needed and even was like possible. Like, I remember when I went to DreamCon for the first time, and it was just like, and I described it like this too, it was weird. It was like a whole city of NPCs, but we were all the NPCs. It was like, like, I'd be walking down the block and like, oh, Donna's on the corner. Like, oh, there goes Jasiri. Like, we were all there. Yeah. And all for the same reason, just the love of anime, chilling with each other. So it's definitely helped bring community together. But then also on the flip side, again, like a double-edged sword, it's also unfortunately torn community apart too. Right. Because not everybody's intentions are good. Right. Definitely. That's just the way life is. So the more people that start to get involved, the more, clout chasing stuff. We get into, like,
you start getting distracted from the real family kind of
now you
building.
Get into like, oh, these are my fans and followers. Like, it's everybody's not meant for that. So but it definitely has helped a lot, as you can see, and you'll see in the documentary how much it has.
The unity and support within the Black anime community has not only helped, the community itself grow and, become more interconnected, but how has this support system shaped your creative process in particular?
Oh, it's shaped the whole thing. Like this doc, for example, when I started this, it was just me, and I was just shooting in the dark. Like really, like I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I had the passion for it, but there was really nothing. I wasn't even a part of the anime community. I would even say now, like my friends, they be doing it. I'm just here. But when I started reaching out to them, and I've reached out to other people before, not within the anime space, just when I'm doing film, hit or miss. Like sometimes you get someone who ignores your message. Sometimes people are like, oh, I want to work on it, and never do, or they do. When I tell you every single person just about that I've reached out to for this within the Black anime community, everyone was down. Every time I was like, it was amazing. Like I was shocked myself. Like I would hit someone up and be like, hey, my name is Justin, this is what I'm doing. They're like, how can I help?
Wow.
I was like, hey, my name is Justin, this is what I'm doing. Like, this is dope. I want to be a part of it. Like, so it's helped me both physically because now, I have these people to interview. I have these events like Anime Family Feud. I have the support system. But then it also helped me mentally because I'm like, one, I have the support of my own people. Two, as an artist, sometimes you're like, is this even a good idea? Like, does this even work? So to hear people go, oh, this is amazing. I'm excited. Like, I want to join. It makes you feel better. Like,
it ignites a little spark in you.
It ignites that spark. Fuel. And then for me personally, it makes me not want to fail. Like it gives me, it's like, well, now I gotta do it big. Like now we gotta do it justice because we got so many people behind us now. Because sometimes I'll be like, I'll start a project, I'll do it, and then I'll be like, yeah, I'll work on this another day. But now, like, it's like, nah, eyes are on me. Like everybody's like, Justin, how to doc? Like, damn. Let me get back to it, which is good because, like I said,
it's almost become something bigger than, and that's the goal, is for it to become bigger than what you even intended to be. But like, it's always so amazing to like see that it turned into something maybe not exactly what you originally envisioned it as, but when it becomes something new, it's becoming something new because so many other voices, personalities are coming into play, and I'm like, that's where you really get that unique quality. And I'm so excited to see this when this is put together.
And not even just the doc, but also my creative process with content creation. Like we're all just so creative. Like Black as a Black
you guys are
culture,
amazing.
You too. Like as a culture, like we just have that extra sauce. So anytime we get together in a room and people just like, oh, what if we made a video like this? Oh, what if we did this? And then you just get you bounce off each other, and it's just elevating us. It's just elevating us. So my content itself also, I feel like it's elevated because of them, like because of everyone. And I'm sure the same thing. Like they'll see my video, be like, oh wow, that video was fire that Justin did. I'm not gonna let him outdo me. I'm gonna do this. And then they do one, and I'm like, damn, Adonis' video was crazy. Like, I got to get back on it. I got to get better. So we're slowly also pushing each other like to do better.
Wow. That's a great point. And like, I just love the idea that's like, the idea and even the term competition, I feel like has so many negative connotations, but people don't realize how much good it can really do for you if you're going at it with positive intentions, and then the idea for it is growth. I hear so many times when I'm watching interviews of artists saying, oh, I sent this beat to Lil Wayne and then he sent the beat right back to me with his verse, and as soon as I heard it, I deleted everything I wrote and I rewrote a whole verse. And I'm like, that's competition. But also, if you think about it, we wouldn't have gotten a better verse from that artist if they weren't pushed to that extent.
Exactly.
So it's like the competition is only going to, was it steel sharpens steel or something like that? Iron sharpens iron. Like that's like that same idea. And wow. And just hearing it from that perspective as well is just like, all you guys are just boosting each other's, not only morale, but the quality of each other's content. And that's going to, that's gonna be an exponential growth for all of you. And you guys are just continue to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Let the people know, what are your accounts, how do we get involved, how do we support, how do we get in touch with you?
So my Instagram is Justafro, J-U-S-T Afro, or just Afro, whatever you prefer to say. You definitely can follow Shades of Otaku documentary on Instagram at Shades of Otaku documentary. We are also still crowdfunding for Shades of Otaku and still filming, so definitely follow that page, because I'm definitely going to start dropping more little snippets and little clips and stuff like that towards the end of the year, because we filmed so much this year. Afro Productions on TikTok. I don't have Shades of Otaku on TikTok, but if you follow Afro Productions, you'll definitely see more Shades of Otaku content as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I really need to start Twitter. I've always tried. Every 2 years I try Twitter.
Yeah, but Twitter, it's even a tough space right now in general right now.
And then X is in a difficult spot.
Yeah.
But, thank you again for having me.
Of course. No, thank you. Honestly, this was an amazing conversation that I'm so excited to really get out there to the people.
Yes, thank you again so much. And I can't wait. You ever have something you're I can't wait till people see this, but y'all can't know about it yet?
Yes.
There's so much I want to implement for this doc. I just can't wait. I can't wait for everybody to be a part of it. You ever have something you're I can't wait till people see this?
And recording should have begun.
have the time.